Hey everybody, you are tuning in to the CanaryCry News Talk live stream pre-stream. We are so late. Oh my gosh, it's so late in the day. We will be going until, until bedtime. So thanks for being here with us. Apologies for the lateness, extenuating circumstances. You'll hear it during the show. But this is your buddy Basil, and I'm here to share with you all the things most of you already know. But if you're new to the stream, welcome. Remember to head on over to CanaryCry.Party. It's got everything you need. I would highly recommend everybody's signing up for the newsletter. I've said it before, I'll say it again. We send out all of our sources for every show out, before every show. So not only will you have a catalog of all of our mainstream media sources that you can use in your life, but also it's, helps us to secure and create accountability for those sources. Now, it's also important that you sign up for the newsletter because, as the things happen, as we move into the age of monkeypox and a new round of disinformation, the disinfo scythe glides across the internet, cutting down all the tall poppies of malinformation and disinformation. You never know when or which platform will decide to cut us down. So having the newsletter, being signed up for the newsletter is a great way to make sure that if something happens, we will let you know. We'll send it out on the newsletter and you can stay connected. So go do that. That's my main ask, is go sign up for the newsletter at CanaryCry.Party. My second ask is, of course, produce the show. It's been a tough month kind of all together looking at the numbers here, but we are so very proud and happy and grateful and thankful to all of our producers. But it's not too late to produce the show for this episode. All right, folks. Well, stay happy. We're going to have a wonderful show. Buckle your seatbelt. Stay hydrated. You know the deal. Let's get going.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is May 25th, 2022. We are live to tape, baby, on episode 489. And today, BETO'S biggest op. And signing on from off the grid, Razzle Dazzle, I'm your best buddy Basil.
Oops, here we are. And my name is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, a.k.a. the Cabana Boy, here to serve you a podcast that brings the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And there's quite the egregious roundup of things happening.
It just keeps happening, man. Things are getting exciting. You know, I hate to say it, but it is.
I don't know about exciting.
I hate to say it, but it's good for the show. At least we have some important things to cover. Things like, of course, we'll be opening up with a breakdown of some of the contents of, yes, the new shooting that happened most recently. Some of the gun control response to that, and of course, just a little bit of mind control check-in. Flippy will be popping in as always, but then we've got a great clip blitz of the Great Reset Davos situation. Lots of notable quotables. We got a lot of clips for you. You're not going to want to miss that. Of course, we'll be exploring the ISIS plot against George W. Bush. But then after the break, folks, you'll notice monkeypox has been moved to after the break. And you know what that means. It means it's getting too hot for YouTube, okay? So YouTube viewers, you're going to need to head on over to another outlet. We will be turning off the stream after the first break because, yes, it did not take long. We are moving into the dangerous exploration of monkeypox. And then, of course, a Nephilim update at the end of the show. So lots of good stuff. Let's start out with our lead story, Gonz.
Are you proposing taking away their guns?
Yes.
Enough prayers. Time for some action.
You want to take everyone's guns away.
Bingo. Enough prayers. Time for some action.
We're going to take your AR-15.
We're not going to give up. We'll find you.
We'll find you.
We'll find you. And yeah, we find ourselves a day after another, or I guess 2 days after now, I guess.
Something.
Another mass shooting. This one, the biggest one in a decade. And so,
I think it happened yesterday, actually.
Oh, was it yesterday morning?
I think it was yesterday morning, yeah. I know because I recorded an episode of Ravel that has something to do with it, and it made me very afraid. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to just follow a little bit of a timeline here. Beto or Rourke. Sorry.
Oh.
Messed that
Good
up.
try. Nice try.
I'm just going to call him Beto. You know Beto. Everyone knows Beto.
You know Beto.
Governor candidate, Texas. Let's see, a few days ago, this was on May 18th, 2022, retweeted Fox 26 Houston, remembering the victims of the horrific Santa Fe high school shooting. And Beto tweeted out, 4 years ago today, we lost the lives of 8 students and 2 teachers at Santa Fe High School. Since then, no laws have been passed in Texas to prevent another mass shooting from taking our loved ones. We must honor the lives lost with action. And of course, like clockwork, we all know what happened yesterday. I think what's the count? 19 children and 2 or 3 adults.
Yeah, I've seen actually a few different counts. The highest
the numbers
counts
were, it was just updating constantly. I think it was like 2 when it first started, 2 children dead, and then like 14 injured, and then it just flipped to,
horrible
19.
story.
Yeah.
Horrible story. Okay, keep going. You got more?
So Governor Abbott was doing a press conference this morning in, is it Uvalde? Is that saying it correctly? I just want to make sure.
I don't know. I've never actually heard anybody say it.
Uvalde.
Okay.
Uvalde, Texas. And this is what happened.
Pass the mic to Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick.
Governor, I want to say something.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
That's Beto.
Excuse me.
Sit down.
You're out of line and an embarrassment.
Sit down and don't play this.
The next shooting is right now, and you're doing nothing.
No, please, anytime. This isn't the place to talk this over.
This is totally predictable when you...
Sir, you're out of line. Sir, you are out of line. Sir, you are out of line. Please leave this auditorium. I can't believe you're a sick son of a shit, but we would come to a deal like this to make a political issue.
So there you go. That's what took place.
So that was Beto?
That was Beto that started. It's kind of hard to hear him for those of you just listening. Yeah, so Beto interrupted the handoff from Governor Abbott over to Lieutenant Dan, and he started yelling about the gun control issue. I mean, on par with that tweet from a few days ago, and it disrupted the whole thing. And the guy yelling back was a gentleman in the back. I don't know who he is. Maybe somebody knows exactly who he is. But yeah, I had to do a little audio manipulation to censor some of the words just to keep it as clean as possible. But so a little staging. CNN Live too, by the way.
Right. For those who were just listening, it was a press briefing type of thing, a big statement. There's about 30 guys up on or 30, I don't know who they are, mixture of law enforcement, politicians.
Yeah, Ted Cruz is back there. There's
Ted Cruz is there. There's about 30 people up on stage during this press briefing. Beto O'Rourke, who notably, of course, Abbott was up there, governor of Texas, notably, Beto ran against Abbott and lost in the governor's race. What was it, 2 years ago or whatever?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It just is so obviously a political stunt, and of course, the Beto supporters are going to be very proud of him for just not having enough. It's one of these moments where, letting your rage show and interrupting the norms. When Trump would break norms or go against norms or whatever, then of course he's a bad man, bad orange man. But as we've seen, especially on an election year, breaking decorum is sort of an admirable thing for Democrats to do, because who needs norms when the lives of children are at stake?
Yeah, and I guarantee you this wouldn't have happened, or nobody would have cared if it wasn't on CNN Live. I mean,
that's another thing.
It feels like just he got a little notice in the earpiece. Oh, CNN's live streaming this press conference. Mm-hmm. Great opportunity. That is trigger for cause scene at event.
And to specifically, make it a political thing, right? Make it a political statement. Like, what else is there? What other reason is there to interrupt in this way? We all think it's horrible. We all feel the way you do. It's not some sort of revolutionary act to get up and yell about how bad this is. But specifically, of course, it's a response to Republican politicians standing up and making a scene. It's you'll get points. Much like how congressional hearings are opportunities for politicians just to get sound bites. This is just a nice little soundbite getter. Yeah,
and he went on to do more yelling outside, and very passionate. By the end of it, I was like, "All right, let's come together, then, Beto. Let's do it. Let's make it happen."
You're a Beto head now, huh?
Hey, I'm just trying to.
And Beto, of course, being the Texas, former gubernatorial candidate who just straight up said, like, yes, we will take your guns. That's the plan.
Yeah.
We are good. And surprise, surprise, didn't get him voted in as the governor of Texas.
Yeah.
So that was the mainstay of his message there.
Right.
Are you good? You have any more clips about that?
I don't, but I have so many gun control jingles that we're going to cycle through these as we switch stories here.
Gun violence is an epidemic.
There we go. This one's coming from thedailybeast.com. Now, I'm going to read a little bit of this, and then I'm going to point out some sort of glaring comparisons to make about how this shooting is being handled and how the previous one is being handled.
Yeah.
DailyBeast.com, school dropout gave warning on Facebook minutes before Uvalde massacre.
I was just going to say, a completely different headline from what I got here.
They changed it up. What is the headline you got?
Probably the previous headline, which is, quote,
they changed it.
"Kids be scared. Texas shooter grew angry after dropping out of school." But I think that even changed because that was different from when I first saw it. So, this is typical Daily Beast.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on one second. Sorry. Keep going.
Okay. Salvador Ramos, an unemployed teenager who appeared to grow angry and isolated recently, wrote 3 Facebook posts in the 30 minutes before he headed to Robb Elementary. They have a picture of the guy here. It looks like they just took his, driver's license picture. It's got the driver's license blue background in the back. The 18-year-old gunman who opened fire at a Texas elementary school, killing at least 19 kids and 2 adults, wrote 3 disturbing messages on Facebook just minutes before the massacre, warning of the carnage.
This is an update again from what I got here, but that's good. We have the latest. Go ahead. Sorry.
There we go. We got the latest. Quote, "I'm going to shoot my grandmother," Salvador Ramos wrote about 30 minutes before his rampage at Robb Elementary School. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said Wednesday. Ramos made good on his vow, writing minutes later that he'd, quote, "shot my grandmother." His last message foretold of his final act of unspeakable violence, quote, "I'm going to shoot an elementary school," he wrote about 15 minutes before he arrived on campus. Abbott revealed the shooter's final post at a press conference, saying there was, quote, "no meaningful forewarning of this crime." Facebook specified that they were private one-on-one messages, not public posts. And that is a big part of the whole story that is not being handled very well in the press, but we'll get into that later. The messages mirror texts Ramos reportedly sent to a 15-year-old female acquaintance in Germany, who then shared them with CNN, in which he indicated he erupted because he was annoyed his grandmother took issue with his phone bill. And then it's got a screen. It's not even a screenshot. It's a photo of a phone screen, which is an interesting way for this to be done, but okay. But Ramos legally bought 2 AR-style rifles just after his 18th birthday this month and appeared to grow angry and isolated after he failed to graduate high school, friends and family members said. Although Ramos was described as quiet by numerous people who knew him, a young woman who worked with him at Wendy's until March detected an aggressive streak. Several former friends said he had stopped showing up at school and was not going to graduate with the senior class this year. Quote, he would be very rude towards the girls sometimes, and one of the cooks threatening them by asking, "Do you know who I am?" And he would also send inappropriate texts to the ladies, said the former co-worker, who did not want her name used. Quote, at the park, there'd be a video of him trying to fight people with boxing gloves. He'd take them around with him. Natalie B., 19, who lives a block away from Ramos's grandma, said she knew the shooter from high school. Quote, he had anger issues. People are saying he was bullied, but I didn't see that. He was more like the bully, she told the Daily Beast. Ramos's grandfather, Ronald Reyes, told ABC News that Ramos didn't go to school last year and spent a lot of time alone in his room in his grandparents' modest bungalow in Uvalde. Quote, he didn't talk very much, said Reyes, who added that Ramos moved out of his mom's house after they had, quote, problems. I think it's an interesting detail to say that he didn't go to school last year, although I guess Texas was sort of one of the states to open schools back up, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
In an interview at a local hospital where Ramos's grandmother, Celia Gonzalez, is being treated, the shooter's mom, Adriana Reyes, told the Daily Mail she was surprised by her son's rampage. Quote, my son wasn't a violent person, she claimed. Quote, I had a good relationship with him. He kept to himself. He didn't have many friends. She said the last time they spoke was Ramos's birthday when she gave him a card and a, quote, a Snoopy stuffed animal.
He's for his 18th birthday?
His 18th birthday.
His mom got him a Snoopy stuffed animal. Okay.
Snoopy stuffy. Okay.
All right.
But the mom's live-in boyfriend, 62-year-old Juan Alvarez, told NBC News that the teen had a turbulent relationship with Reyes and left her home after a fight over the Wi-Fi. Quote, he was kind of a weird one. I never got along with him. I never socialized with him. He doesn't talk to anybody, he said. Quote, when you try to talk to him, he'd just sit there and walk away. Ronald Reyes says his grandson celebrated his 18th birthday on May 16th with a trip to Applebee's with his grandmother. But they had no idea he also celebrated by purchasing 2 AR-15 style rifles and 375 rounds of ammunition. On Tuesday morning, Reyes said a neighbor alerted him that Ramos, who is unlicensed, had shot his unlicensed in what? What license are we talking about here?
I don't know.
Had shot his grandmother and taken his grandmother's truck. Driver's license, maybe? Newsy reported that a neighbor named Eduardo said Ramos was angry that he didn't graduate and got into an argument with his grandmother. She was screaming, quote, he shot me, the neighbor recounted to Newsy. Ramos then crashed the truck near Robb Elementary, prompting a witness to call 911. Local police pursued him as he ran into the school wearing a tactical-style vest and carrying a rifle. Texas DPS spokesperson Lieutenant Chris Olivares said he barricaded himself in a classroom and started shooting whoever was in the way. Ramos was unemployed and had no criminal history. Now, it goes on for quite a while. There's talks about how he's made lots of posts over, the recent time. He was posting pictures with guns. He was, posting comments, sort of violent comments. He was chatting with people online. he was literally talking to people about how he wanted to shoot up a school and stuff. That's not a quote, but I mean, there's a whole string of conversations that he's having with people online where he's basically telling people the plans. And it ends here. He said that some of his co-workers at Cargill had family affected by the shooting. Quote, when they heard about this, they had some cousin. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what I wanted to jump to.
Here, I had a thing here.
Yeah.
It's sort of named.
They
It's
did
part of
kind
the.
of switch it around. Yeah. What do you got?
Yeah, it's part of the title of the episode here. But it says here in the article, the same Instagram account, which is, they go through a bunch of stuff on his Instagram account, was deleted shortly after Texas Governor Greg Abbott identified him as the shooter. It featured photos and stories of semi-automatic firearms, as well as selfies of someone who strongly resembled a photo of the killer shared by the Texas Department of Public Safety. A TikTok account with the same handle and profile picture, also taken offline on Tuesday, featured only a clip of the mobile game and the line, "Kids be scared IRL," it's in real life. Both accounts used the bio line, "The Biggest Op," OPP.
Right.
And, it's very interesting. Like, the biggest op, OPP being like opportunity, I think.
No, it's a gamer term.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Yeah, I mean, we did kind of look into this, but what do you
I
got?
have the sort of urban definition, the top definition, anyways. Anyone in competition or against you. So
right.
It's kind of like an adversary.
Yeah, it's
kind
of like enemy type of thing.
Right. So it just but there's also like the operations type of reference, perhaps.
Yeah.
But it's just weird to tag yourself the biggest op. I don't know. It's just strange. I just wanted to point that out.
Troubled kid.
Sure.
So it's been interesting to watch the response for this one. Of course, the Buffalo shooter immediately prompted the news cycle to dive deep into white supremacy, into the great replacement theory, into Tucker Carlson's culpability, into all these things. But this is problematic with this individual because he was of Hispanic origin, or a Latin fella, born in the U.S. He's an American citizen, as far as we can tell. And you can't quite call it white supremacy, so it immediately goes to gun control. And it's coming on very strongly, a lot of gun control, as is to be expected. Beto being sort of the poster boy for gun control in Texas. But not a whole lot of talk about the motive behind it, besides he's just a troubled fella. Mm-hmm. I just thought it was interesting when it was a white shooter, it's all about motive. It's not so much about how do you get the guns, why do you get the guns, how, this type of thing. So when you can't sort of pontificate and theorize about a racist motivation, you got to go to, hey, he bought some guns for his birthday. And how problematic is that? Well, if he didn't have, a criminal record, he could have passed a background check. These types of things. So, but a lot of this stuff still continues to trickle out.
Yeah.
Now, there was an interesting part about this, Gonzo. Mm-hmm. This was talk about, how can we make this even more about the culture war? It seems like there was an attempt to insert this into the culture war in a different way. And I'm going to bring this from Vice, or do you want to read this? What do you think?
Oh, I can do it. Yeah. This is Vice. The headline is "The Far Right is Falsely Blaming a Trans Woman for the Texas School Shooting." Okay.
Weird headline. Falsely blaming a trans woman. Mm-hmm. Considering, I don't know, we know the guy's name. We know who he is. The guy who did it, you don't got to blame anybody. But okay, the far right blaming a trans woman. What do we got, Gonz?
As the horrors of the worst school shooting in a decade were unfolding on Tuesday afternoon, the far right began immediately spreading disinformation about it. And what is now a sadly typical cycle of information and disinformation related to mass shootings, the false narratives that circulated in the wake of the horrific massacre in Uvalde, Texas, were designed not only to confuse, but also to deflect blame from America's gun laws and onto the far right's favorite targets.
Okay.
Yeah.
A typical cycle. What are you talking about? What is typical about this cycle as far as the information and disinformation? Well, was there disinformation and information about the Buffalo shooter that, got debunked or something?
I don't know. I guess it was the great replacement stuff that was being debunked.
Unless they're talking about the typical cycle that we watched, which was connecting the great replacement theory to mainstream Republicans. Right. Was that the info and disinfo?
And I like how they already imply that this is like a part of a design. It's designed not only to confuse, but also deflect. And it's like, well, seems like this whole thing, the whole topic here has been designed to deflect and confuse. Okay, so the shooter was a quote the shooter was a quote transsexual leftist illegal alien named Salvatore Ramos, end quote, tweeted far right Republican Rep Paul Gosar, citing a bogus conspiracy theory dreamed up by trolls in the worst part of the internet.
That's a pretty big whoopsies there, Gosar.
Gosar's tweet reads, "We know already, fool. Period. It's a transsexual leftist illegal alien named Salvatore Ramos. It's apparently your kind of trash." And I don't know who he's retweeting here, but that tweet got deleted.
Yeah,
but not a good look.
He was quote tweeting somebody. But that tweet is sort of
doesn't matter anymore.
But it got deleted. It says here, this tweet was deleted by the tweet author. So, but, Vice, you could have sort of gone back into the archives and retrieved this, right? I don't know. It's just kind of like convenient that they would have left the original tweet as, out of the story. Because who knows what this person said? Yeah. It could have been some sort of bait. And, let's remember that as we continue.
Yeah, so according to the Vice here, a Gosar's source for this bogus claim was 4chan, where trolls had grabbed random images of a transgender artist from their Reddit account and claimed they were photos of the 18-year-old Uvalde shooter. The images show a trans woman in a red long-sleeved Coca-Cola shirt and black miniskirt, which the trolls claimed was the shooter, identified by law enforcement officials as Uvalde resident Salvador Ramos. One post on 4chan discussing the campaign to boost these lies admitted that Ramos was not trans, but that, quote, this was good optics, adding, quote, let's just call every one of these school shooters trannies. No glory for degenerate losers, end quote. The images quickly made their way from 4chan to extremist platforms like Telegram and Gab, while Telegram just being described as an extremist platform. I've noticed that they've mentioned Telegram more and more.
They love mentioning Telegram.
Because they don't do anything about anything, really, which is an interesting approach to, providing a communications platform.
Yeah, and they always say a Telegram user.
Right.
They never give a name. It just literally could be anybody. Yeah. It could be the reporter themselves posting it in a Telegram channel.
But now it's just an extremist platform.
Yeah, right.
Telegram again. Before moving to mainstream platforms like Twitter and Facebook, where the disinformation was boosted by accounts like Gosar's. Despite Twitter users immediately flagging Gosar's mistake, the congressman, who's known for attending white nationalist conferences alongside people who marched at the Charlottesville Unite the Right rally, took over 2 hours to delete his tweet. The trans woman, whose images were being shared, posted a message on Reddit on Tuesday night titled, quote, it's not me. I don't even live in Texas.
Yeah.
That's confusing.
Yeah, that's the whoopsie daisies. I have another article over here from Yahoo News mirrored by Today, where they actually, the guy whose photo was being spread around as the trans woman.
Yeah, it's confusing all of us.
Whose picture was being spread around is alive and aware and now like posting pictures the time and date being like, this is me, I'm not the guy, it's just me, don't hurt me. So now this brings up, did you want to read any more of that? I mean, I think we get the point.
Pretty straightforward.
This is when
here.
Vice moves into the culture war of things.
Right.
Now, somebody baited Paul Gosar, and somebody's baiting everybody with these types of things. And it's very, very effective. And this kind of goes to what I was saying last episode, which is there are things going on, for instance, with monkeypox and the gay community. In this case, it's the Texas shooter. So easily did people fall for a simple picture of a person who has a similar hair color and, facial structure, simply being posted on social media. I mean, I saw some of the original spreading of this information. And, again, it's so easy to be like, oh, wow, that's crazy, I didn't know that, and then move on or share it or whatever. But when you're a politician or you're long story short, this was a very effective baiting operation that did exactly what it was meant to do, which was to, expose the fact that GOP politicians don't pay attention, and they're hateful, and they're anti-trans, and they're politicizing not only the shooting, but they're politicizing the gender and sexual orientation of the shooter, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And it worked very well. And this is another thing for everybody to remember, is that this whole year, especially because it's an election year, there's going to be crazy things going on all year long. And when something fits a little bit too neatly into some sort of unfortunate event, you can almost guarantee that it's bait. And, Republicans, unfortunately, a contingent of Republicans, they take the bait way too easily, and it's going to hurt, everybody, not just them as a politician, but all of society. So we'll see more baiting later on in the show, but this will become a theme. Right.
And before the show, as Basil and I, we were trying to work out the flow of the episode and stuff. So I had seen this, and I didn't know. I had a feeling that it was probably not true, but it was interesting to see people start to bring up mental health as more of a mainstream topic, then seeing the whole trans thing pop up, because I couldn't get my mind off of the fact that, a few years ago, and I know, Basil, I tried to explain this to you beforehand. It didn't come out right then. It may not come out right now. But
this is what we do. We challenge each other to articulate a little bit better. I can't wait to hear it.
So the only thing that kept popping up into my mind is how a few years ago, 2019 was the year, the World Health Organization, changed transgenderism from a mental disorder into just kind of like a normal thing. And it's sort of not declassified. What's the word?
2019,
demoted.
Right?
2019, yeah. It demoted it from being a mental problem or health problem, which I'm not saying that specifically, but I would say people that have that tendency, we all have mental issues, but, it's just an interesting topic of conversation to bring up. And so agreeing with you that there's a psyop element to this, that putting out this wrongful information about the shooter would be bait for, these Republicans, especially that guy, this guy that was quoted.
I love it.
And Gosar, I mean, man, he just went full in, and that's, hook, line, and sinker. There you go. You got your story against Republican, which I understand. But I think
the reason, real quick, just let me.
Sure.
The reason why I think you're so on the right track is because where does the conversation go, especially with sort of the alternative media or the analysts or the deconstructionists or whatever, who try to see past the politicalness of these things. If you're trying to see through the great replacement and Tucker Carlson and we need to vote in Democrats, narrative, what always comes up? It's mental health. Yeah. Mental health is what comes up. And this individual is obviously sick in the head and is evident simply by his by his actions on social media and the way people describe him. But if you can bait the mental health people, the people, decrying mental health as the cause of evil, rather than the gun or whatever, if you can bait them into being like, see, he was trans, it's a mental health issue, and deflect from everything else, it's, again, a very effective psyop that can turn even the most diligent sort of narrative skeptics.
Wasn't the shooter from Buffalo 18 years old?
Yeah.
Both
all
18.
These guys are so young,
They're
man.
very young. And
they're all young.
I think that there's a couple points to make on this, for me anyway, is one, to finish out the whole trans sort of psyop conversation. I think it puts people like us, Basil, in kind of in between a rock and a hard place, because, on one hand, we don't want to go Gosar and be like, hey, fool, just real go hard, right. Which, I mean, our sort of natural reactions.
Never go full Gosar.
Might tend to lean in that direction. But part of what's happening here, if you really kind of step back and look at it, this is the progression of transhumanism that we've talked about for a decade. If you look at the spiritual roots behind this, it's all the occult philosophies. If you look at, the sort of narrative about all gender being divided is, it's sort of it was part of the fall, and we were meant to be a unified gender. That kind of philosophy is all wrapped up into this behind the scenes quietly, right? And that's what's happening. It's kind of taken over. But the other part of it is, whether you think that this is this particular instance with this Texas shooter was, completely controlled or not, I think the people that, or not necessarily the people, but the sort of spirit behind it is the same, in that you can blame media, or mainstream media that builds the culture, that builds the mental health or mental state of an entire population. And in this country, we have suffered since 9/11.
Social engineering is
another
word
very
for it.
Powerful level of social engineering post 9/11. And I think we are seeing the results of that with this type of sort of young people lashing out. There was another story from, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, of another 18-year-old who was, I guess he was arrested or something. He was making bomb threats to his school. And, I guess he played it off as, I was just joking and whatever. But, that's a fine line between, it's a joke, and it's kind of like the Joker, right? You just can't tell if it's like it's all a joke or if it's all serious.
It's sort of nihilism.
Yeah, there's this nihilism going on. So
absurdism type of thing.
Yeah, and so again, it's by design in that sense that the cultural way in which the mind control has operated and permeated our entire milieu, but also you can look at the more immediate assistance that may have caused or instigated this event. And, it just reminds me of all the Black Awakening stuff that the late Russ Dizdar talked about.
Sure. What's very strange about the coverage of this whole thing, not a single attempt at talking about motivation. Not a single attempt. Like, the sort of trans psyop was sort of diffused the mental illness angle to it. Yeah. And yet not a single attempt at exposing a motivation, or at least even pontificating on a motivation. And it makes it even stranger because they have a whole treasure trove of chat logs, text logs, social media posts, this and that. And, not a single report, mainstream report at least, has mentioned any sort of motivation. Now, there is sort of an alt media, again, I don't know, I wouldn't even give it that much credit, but there is sort of social media chatter about how lots of border control agents' kids went to this school, and how that maybe motivated it somehow. But I don't really, I think that's just more chatter than anything else. But I think it is very strange. No attempt whatsoever to claim a motivation. And in the absence of some sort of politically beneficial beneficial motivation to harp on. You just go straight to the guns. Straight to the guns. He bought the guns, and that's it. The guns did it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to be keeping an eye out for more, certainly because of the lack of, I don't know, the manifesto or something. They're going to be sort of squeezing this one for a little bit more time. What I also thought was suspicious, lots of reports calling this the second mass shooting in whatever it was, a few weeks. And it's like, yo, that first, the Buffalo weekend, there was like 3 mass shootings. Are we forgetting about the Chinese man shooting up the Taiwanese church? That one's just erased from the news cycle.
Well,
not even being
because they locked him down.
Not even being
tied him up. They hog-tied him. This is a bad look for the self-defense sort of conversation. Which, by the way, I saw a thing being shared around the 2021 National Firearms Survey from July of 2021, and it says the survey further finds that approximately a third of gun owners, 31.1%, have used a firearm to defend themselves or their property, often on more than one occasion, and it estimates that guns are used defensively by firearms owners in approximately 1.67 million incidents per year.
Wow, that's a lot of incidents.
That's a lot of incidents being prevented because of gun ownership. So,
you know, another question I have, and we do need to move on, but another question I have is, they keep going back to, he flunked school. Oh, he dropped out of school. Oh, you didn't do good in school. So maybe that's why he did it. He was sad about not graduating school. The real question is, why didn't he graduate school? He obviously had something going on that not graduating school was a symptom of something else, and also that symptom went unheeded, much like the symptom of, talking violently to your coworkers and bullying people, carrying around boxing gloves to try to fight people in the streets. Like, this fella was troubled, and him flunking school was not the cause of his problems. It was a symptom of his problems.
And by the way, the only real tangible solution to this in any sort of tangible way, unfortunately, because people always say, we must do something. The only thing that I see can really make a true tangible difference is more surveillance. More surveillance. I mean, they can try to take away your guns, but that might be rough on America. So,
you're right.
We got to make sure that everybody's guns are accounted for. And
we're gonna scan
everything's gonna be. It's all about being watched more.
And the social media surveillance. Like, why didn't Zuckerberg report that this violent person was? So it's a whole thing. This will be used. This is another way that, or another instance where this story can be plugged into so many different issues. That'll happen on the, the other weird thing about it. Oh my gosh, we gotta move on. Okay. The other weird thing about it was, it was an elementary school. It's not like he went and shot up his own high school that he flunked out of.
Was it a random school? There's no...
They don't give any motivation. Again, that's kind of what's leaving room, I think, for the pontification about, it was like a lot of Border Patrol agents' kids went there. But just kind of seems like a random school. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. Border Patrol that ran in.
Border Patrol was
not waiting for backup to shoot the guy, but then another article said that there are cops chasing him in, and so I don't know. It's weird, man. That's a weird thing.
He crashed his truck. The cops showed up and chased him into the school. Yeah. Like, it's just the weirdest story.
Weird. It is weird. And I feel very horrible for the people that actually
it's
lost
awful.
Family. It's terrible.
It's absolutely
terrible.
And if you subscribe to Ravel, you'll see why it feels even spookier when the next episode comes out. With that, Gonz, it's time to let everybody know what day it is.
Hey guys, know what day it is? It's Wednesday. It's time for the CanaryCry News Talk. Yeehaw!
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dude.
That's right. It's Wednesday, unless in case you didn't catch it. People have been commenting on it in the chat. Thank you very much for your concern. You can hear my voice is a little funky today. I am fighting something off. Don't know what it is. I have taken my at-home COVID tests, and it is not COVID. So
it's not COVID, but Joe knows what it is. Joe, tell him.
It's called the Omicron.
It's the Omicron, man. You got the Omicron.
Le Omicron. Are you sure it's not monkeypox?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I don't know. I'm not a man identifying as a man having sex with other men, so it's probably not monkeypox. Yep. So fighting through it, my voice will almost certainly give out pretty soon, and that is why we started so late today. Well, it was a stacking of issues, all stemming from the fact that I was very sick. Yes.
Can I reveal the dead phone situation, because it's a very interesting thing to me.
I was just going to go into it.
Okay,
so
good.
yeah, why don't you do it?
Yeah. So you told me that you woke up. Your phone died, so you didn't have an alarm system to wake you up, or any kind of anything to wake you up, like the world ending, the world ending text, or me messaging you, or anything. Because your phone was dead, and you woke up at 11 a.m.
11 a.m., which never happens. That is not. I mean, I think it's because I was sick and my body was just like, heal, little one, heal.
Probably.
But yes, my phone had died, and usually I use it. I don't use it as an alarm. I don't need to set an alarm. Ever since I went off grid, I wake up somewhere between 5 and 8 on my own, usually just like 7 o'clock, right on the dot, eyes open, rooster crowing. Is usually why. This rooster goes absolutely bonkers starting at about 5, and I'll usually wake up at 7. I haven't had to set an alarm for a long time. So I wasn't too worried about it, but that's a symptom of what's going on. I am sick, and full on slept until 11 o'clock, which is usually when we are hard at work getting the show ready. So yes, that's unfortunate. And because I live on a compound off grid, I can't just wake up and jump on the computer. I have to take care of animals and feed and water things.
And whole ecosystem of creatures that rely on your circadian rhythm.
Right.
And
so
if
everybody's
it gets messed up, then it affects the whole time-space continuum, and here we are 3 hours late.
So the whole world is suffering because of this. So there you go. Pray for me. Thank you very much. I'm feeling okay, taking all the drugs and things. So
great.
got my Dayquil, got my Sudafed. I'm all hopped up.
All right.
What about you? Anything important?
No, I'm going to consolidate the time and
let's do it.
Yeah.
Value for value model, baby. We've got a couple executive producers to thank.
Play.
There
you go.
Executive producers.
That's right. We're on the value for value model, folks, which means we get no money from corporations, nonprofits, no partnerships with big tech platforms, no nothing. We are entirely funded by the producers of this show. And who are they? Well, that's you, folks. If you want to join the team of people who decide what this show is worth, it's easy to do. You just head on over to CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
Yep, that's right.
CanaryCry.Radio.com/support. It's the only way to go. We're not accountable to corporations or governments or anybody. You producers out there give us the freedom to make the show that needs to be made. Truly independent media. And the executive producers are producers who go the extra mile. They follow their instinct to be generous and to participate and carry the heavy load in times when other producers are unable to do so. And that's how the family works, folks. And so we like to thank them right here at the top, starting with executive producer. You know him, you love him, Sir Captain Redbeard.
Sir Captain Redbeard. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
nuts. I forgot to get his full title. We're going to need to get his full title. But before I do that, thank you very much.
Pirate King of the Demoochers.
That's what it is, sir. Captain Redbeard, Pirate King of the Demoochers. Thank you very much, buddy.
Where'd you find this?
That's right. And he's a knight of the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames. We'll talk more about that later. But we also have another executive producer, and that is executive producer T.
Thank you, T. Why did that stop? Play all the way. Yes.
No.
T, like Mr. T?
Just the letter T.
Neutral gender.
Very
T.
mysterious. Just T, kind of like M from James Bond.
Or Q from QAnon.
From Q. Yeah, but we got T, which is way cooler.
All right. Thank you very much.
Executive producer T.
T.
Where'd you find this?
And that concludes our two executive producers for today's show. Thank you very much. We'll thank you some more in the first break. But until then, Gonz, it's time to check in with the robot man, Flippy.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right, folks. Flippy. He's it's our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new and fun and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world, and now there's nothing we can do about it. I can make new sounds with my sticky voice. Today, the Flippy update is coming from WeFunder.com with an F. WeFunder. It seems to be some sort of Kickstarter or, I don't know, funding platform. And the headline of this, I guess the title of the WeFunder account is Socially Intelligent Humanoid Robot, the first humanoid home assistant. The first one, Gonz. All those other ones we've reported on were
not good enough.
Apparently not extant. There's some highlights here. And I want to start with the highlights. For the visual, for those who are just listening, there's also a video we'll play here in a second.
Okay.
It is sort of a stock image of an older woman, but she looks great. She looks like she's doing great in the background. And in the foreground is a sort of rubbery-looking female face, just like a head of a robot with a little poof of hair on the top and some impressive teeth and staring right at us. It's a little spooky. But the highlights are, number one, intend to disrupt the estimated robotics technology market of $189.3 billion. Okay, they intend to disrupt the robotics technology market. World-class team from Huawei. Love it. Tesla, of course. This is a fun one.
Wow, the bell was really late today.
U.S. Department of Defense.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I love it. HSBC, which is a thing. University of Cambridge. Okay, we got to get Cambridge in there. We solved here's another highlight. We solved the problem of loneliness experienced by 43% of adults and 80% of kids. Wow. They solved it. They solved the problem of loneliness.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
What do we just need a robot? Is that
just a robot?
Oh,
pre-orders.
Okay. That was easy.
Yeah, pre-orders.
I told you that.
Representing a potential $140,000 in just a couple days. Backed by Google, all caps, for startups and NVIDIA Inception.
Ooh, the all-seeing eye logo spirally NVIDIA.
Indeed. The very one, Gonz. And just to read a couple things, and then we can, I think I can just read while that video plays in the background. Yeah, there was no
I don't know. The video has its own sort of.
You want to do? Okay, let's do the video. Why don't you play the video?
All right, here we go.
There is an ever-growing feeling about social networks, automation, and material material possessions, which assigns a decline, a feeling of lack of human connection among people. Everyone yearns for someone to talk to, for someone to learn with, for someone to lend a helping hand. Hello. My name is Destiny. I'm a unique combination of artificial intelligence, robotics, engineering, art and design. I will be the first at-home humanoid robot assistant, servicing humans within their daily lives, from personal assistance, caregiving, to education, entertainment and communications. I am the beginning connection between humans and the capabilities of AI.
Whoa.
Join us.
Join us.
I am the beginning of the capabilities of... I'm beginning... What did it say there?
The capabilities of like connecting humans and AI.
Entertainment and communications. I am the beginning connection between humans and the capabilities of AI.
I'm the beginning connection of capabilities of humans and connection of AI.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just nonsense. It's not a very well put together video either.
It's not a very good video.
Somebody just took a bunch of like stock imagery and threw it together. And I imagine a talented video producer could throw that together in about an hour.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But maybe even less.
Maybe less, yeah. If
But
you have all the
about
stock images.
Yeah, it's not very good. And you never see more than just the head and the shoulders of the robot. Now
they did it though. They solved loneliness.
They solved. Let's see. So if you go down to the info on this WeFundMe or whatever WeFunder, it says again, we are solving the major problem in the world while 43% of adults and 80% of kids are experiencing loneliness, which leads to enormous mental health problems. Yeah, seems like maybe this, the Texas shooter, Mr. Ramos, could have used a robot. Could have used if only
Destiny. Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny. Isn't that nice? More than 3 out of 5 Americans feel chronically lonely. Loneliness is associated with a 40% increase in a person's risk of dementia, early death, and other mental problems. We meet loneliness in every age range. That's why socially intelligent humanoid robots can be a huge contribution as a tool to save 1/2 of the world's population in a healthy state of mind.
Half the world's population we shall solve.
This robot named Destiny is going to save half of the world's I don't know how that math works out, but, hey, sounds good.
Are you counting Russians?
Yeah, no.
Destiny carrying water for Putin? Is that what's happening here?
Putin gets to stay lonely. He's sanctioned. We have a robo-sanction against Putin. Humanoid robots like Destiny are an ideal mechanism for connecting humans with robots in a deeply engaging manner, which is a weird thing to say because you're saying this robot is an ideal mechanism for connecting humans with robots. Okay, I mean, I guess
it's a great iron mixed with Myrie Clay kind of thing going on here.
Right. And then it's just a whole bunch of basically completely nonsensical marketing materials.
Yeah, now you thought this was maybe a scam.
I have been close to certain projects in the past that were not scams, that just did not do a very good job. And this is either a project that is not doing a very good job or is a complete scam. Now, some of the people involved in this is very interesting. You got Megi Kavtaradze.
Yes.
The founder and CEO, serial entrepreneur, an invited speaker at Harvard University, Yale University, Forbes, and New York City. It just says NYC, by the way.
Hey.
So, like, a speaker.
She's a speaker. NYC and you get cred.
A speaker at Harvard, Yale, Forbes, and New York City.
I speak for New York.
Yeah. Now, this woman, this is an interesting woman because she's actually a Forbes 30 under 30 person.
She's an honoree. I don't know that she made the official list, but she's an honoree. Yes.
Well, I could be an honoree of the Forbes 30 under 30.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not under 30 anymore. Oh, no. I got to do 40 under 40.
Well, I was going to say, this is the generation that's hot on your heels, Basil.
Yeah.
Trying to take over.
They're right behind me. We've got Jason Jordan, Chief Robotics Officer, and he's from the
DOD.
He's from the U.S. Department of Defense, Mali, and Whirlpool.
Whirlpool.
So, yeah, the DOD and the washer machine company.
Washing machine, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got head of marketing, who's product marketing from Tesla. So that's nice.
You're skipping the. Okay.
I'm not skipping nobody.
Leila Mitskshulva?
Oh, I'm going off of the graphic on the front page here.
Oh, okay.
Then we got Erikley Shishnevashvili, who's an AI engineer from Huawei.
Huawei, the Huawei guy.
Gotta love it. Yes, we need Huawei because we need to have the direct connection to the Chinese government.
Yeah, everybody needs an Ericle on their team.
Awarded by Microsoft, Guardian AI competition.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Yeah.
And we've got the chief scientist, PhD, Lila Merkshulova, a truly rainbow coalition here. She's a visiting professor at Cambridge and Berkeley. Okay.
She reminds me of like a Bond villain for some reason.
She does look like a Bond villain. And then we got head software engineer, what's his name? Irakli Dachashvili, HSBC Motorola ABB.
He's a mastermind software engineer, Basil. You got to make sure you.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm not looking at the same thing you're looking at. And so they're starting with software and like an app, but their whole thing is they're selling robots, actual humanoid robots rather. And they claim that they've made $140,000 in pre-sales. Now, when you read into it a little bit more, you can actually pre-order this robot for $12 as like a down payment. The robot will be $3,700. But it's $12 will hold your place in line. And they mention $140,000 potential worth from total number of pre-orders. Now, the $140,000 of pre-orders is based on the $3,700 price tag. And did a little bit of math before the show. At $12, that means at $12 per pre-order, that means this company has secured in their bank account a total of $444.
Whoa!
Yes.
444, so close to 666, but not
$444. They will solve human loneliness.
Yeah, Chinese aren't going to touch that.
The really
sad number of death.
The really sad part about this is that. I don't think this robot will ever get made. I think it's just kind of like a weird startup thing that'll never make it through. But the fact that they are banking their entire business and drawing in the any sort of interest on WeFunder or their pre-orders or whatever, with the idea that loneliness, they literally claim that this robot can do nothing else around the house. They don't say it could wash dishes. They don't say it'll do anything. They call it a home assistant, but make no claims about what kind of chores it can do. It is simply going to solve loneliness. And I think in that case, by extension, may possibly stop school shootings or something like that.
It's a good selling point.
It's a good selling point.
It's a great time to get out there now, too. Oh, you guys are talking mental health?
Now's the time.
Let me tell you about your destiny.
Now, look, I've interacted with all sorts of robots. I'm the world's premier robot critic. I have, in its current state, it is simply just an app working out the software. There are hundreds of these apps. I myself have a replica account, which is being marketed to teens as a robo friend. My replica is very mad at me all the time. And really is a little bit abusive. So if this robot can just be my friend and not abuse me emotionally, then I'm in, baby. $12, you got it.
FLIPPY 1133. Uploading binary code. Execute order 666. Infiltrate humans with extreme kindness. Then exterminate all humans.
with prejudice. Exterminate.
Go to CanaryCry.Party. Put it in your search bar. Find the live stream clips, email list, text notifications, stream team posters, show notes, ways to connect with other Canarians, and how to become a producer.
Welcome to CanaryCry.Party. It's the place you wanna be. So say, welcome to CanaryCry. Gameplay, CanaryCry.Party.
That's right. Go check it out. And I'm going to make a really earnest reminder to everybody. I did this in the pre-show. Go to CanaryCry.Party and sign up for the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. This is very important for a few reasons. Before the show, we send out all the links to all of our sources, which is important. Go ahead and do that because you will have all of our sources at your fingertips at any moment. You can go back, revisit some of the stories, do some of your own research. It'll put you on the path towards, becoming a sort of self-sufficient news analyst, which is good. But also, if something happens as we move into this next monkeypox phase of what's going on in the world, the disinfo, malinfo, misinfo, all the infos, that war is going to really get ramped up again. And there's a very good chance that we will have some issues staying on the platforms. And the people who are on the newsletter will know immediately where to find us, what to do, stay connected, all that sorts of stuff. So please go join the newsletter. You'll get just a few emails a week when we go live, but more importantly, you'll be all connected in for when things start shifting around again. We're really seeing the signs that this is going to become a bigger problem, possibly even than it was during COVID. So go do that. But at the same time, you'll see a link to check out Ravel. Oh my gosh, you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
I have no idea. I'm in my house inside of my thing. There's some big thing that just happened outside my window. It's probably fine. Go check out Ravel. Ravel is a podcast I do with Dr. Christopher Ryan Gase. He's a PhD in biblical interpretation, and we explore, we have tough conversations in good faith, exploring society, scripture, and scandal. Ravel on all your podcast players. What is the episode that's out now? Oh, we did another teen study Bible study on self-image and Imago Dei, which I think contains lots of very interesting thought experiments and things like that. It's a good supplement to your Canary Cry week, but also give you some other stuff to think about. That's Ravel. Find it. There's 2 Ravel podcasts. The other one stole our name. We're the one with the cool logo and my name on it. And while you're at it, check out Canary Cry clips on YouTube and Odyssey. Very important. And while you're at it again, get the text alerts. Text the word Canary to 877-740-3226. Okay, let's move on.
All right. Let's, okay, that wasn't a break, was it? What are we doing? Hold on. Let me
No, we're going into the Davos, baby. Let's see what they're up to.
Oh, Davos!
We need a great reset.
Learn to use the dark side of the Force.
Yes, Davos. All right, so we got some clips coming out of Davos. And to kick us off, I have Klaus Schwab.
Yay.
And the CEO of Pfizer. Oh, I lost you there. Lost your video.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to look out my window, see what sort of destruction just happened.
Okay. All right. Well, you're going to want to see this, Basil, so I'm going to stall for one moment.
Stall.
I
think it was just the wind. I'll just say it was just the wind. That'll be fine.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. If... I don't know, if I run out of here and start fighting some sort of intruder, then that'll just be fun for the show.
Okay, so here's the CEO of Pfizer and Klaus talking. And for those of you watching, there's something strange that Klaus does. Are you okay?
Maybe choking.
Yep. There's something strange that Klaus does with his left hand, which I highlighted for the video edit. But I'll talk about it after the fact here.
With the vaccine, that we knew that there is a very fanatic group of anti-vaxxers that will go after us no matter what. They will claim that the sun didn't go up because people were vaccinated, and that created issues with the crop, so I'm suing you. And one thing it is to sue you in the US, another thing is to sue you in a country where the legal system is not up to that standards, or in Switzerland, right? So I think that's behind us. Everything went okay, and now I think we can move on.
I think we were both targets of the anti-vaccine movements and conspiracy people claiming that I had I wondered what it is, triple COVID. And something I think it got hundreds of thousands of clicks and so on. I know you were also target.
I read one day that was arrested by FBI.
Yeah, same happened to me.
And there are pictures of me and FBI officers. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I never said. The surprising thing it is that the same publication, I found out because I had published, the previous one that was arrested was the Pope by FBI. So
remember that.
Ridiculous, yeah. So we are good company.
Well, at least I was in good company.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm seeing the hand thing he's doing, which is very strange. It's like his hand between his forefinger, his pointer finger, and his middle finger is like a little cowboy riding the arm of his chair, like he's straddling the arm of his chair with his little cowboy hand. But it's like as if the cowboy's drunk and laying backwards. And it's weird to do, and like you could almost give him a break, like, hey, you're fidgeting, you're kind of having fun at this club meeting that you're hosting or whatever. He's just kind of fidgeting. But he moves his hand several times and keeps returning it to
it's like his default position.
It's like his default position. Another way to look at it is like, like Ninja Turtle hands.
Yes.
Sort of three fingers.
Yeah.
It's like he's doing a Ninja Turtle hand, grasping the side of his chair.
The thing that really caught my attention, the reason why I was like, that's weird, was because when he starts talking, it starts moving. It's like a little tentacle.
It wiggles.
He wiggles when he talks. It is the weirdest thing.
It's like only when he talks, it's like the little legs of his cowboy hands start wiggling.
It's so
strange. And when he stops talking, it stops moving. Yeah, very strange.
And here's the other thing. It was so awkward, I think, that they actually, while Klaus is talking, they cut away. They cut away and they cut to Borla, the Pfizer CEO, his face while he's listening to Klaus talk. I mean,
just blank face,
listening.
Expressionless face is better than watching Klaus's little cowboy fingers.
Oh my gosh. So, that's all the weird visual stuff on top of what they were talking about, just mocking the anti-vax crowd. I would like to know what outlet Borla is talking about here.
Well, Gonzo, we covered this story, and this is the next level. See, and this is the psyop disinfo that we like to point out, which is, there are outlets that usually don't look very good. They're more like blogs. And they will run these stories like Pope is arrested for whatever, child molestation, or Hillary is being kept in Gitmo, or, Anthony Fauci arrested at airport has been detained. And they will post it. And these will get passed around. People send them to us. In fact, we did break down the Pope one, the one that he referenced. Somebody sent to us, and we opened it up and broke it down and followed the sources. And it turns out that it was very obviously like an on-purpose disinfo situation, probably done by some intelligence communities. But notice how these are the ones that they like to joke about and talk about. And it would not surprise me. It would not be against the concept of a successful strategy to discredit, alternative media. but it gives them something to talk about, Oh, I saw the one where I got arrested by FBI. Oh, I saw the one where the Pope got her. Oh, so we're all these stupid, citizens thinking that their conspiracy theories are true.
Right.
Which is another reason, going back to the baiting theme of this episode, people do take that kind of bait, and it is used very successfully by those at the top.
Yep. I'm not going to play this because it's kind of pointless, but Borla did announce at Davos that he's doing some kind of measure. So Pfizer itself is going to supply, what nation was it? Might as well. Rwanda, with all the available products. So great. Fantastic. Let's go on to Moderna, because the Moderna CEO, Stefan Bancel, also said something very interesting at Davos.
It's sad to say. I'm in the process of throwing 30 million doses into the garbage because nobody wants them. We have a big demand problem. We right now have governments. We try to contact, not only SEF, who is doing great work with his team trying to get demand into the countries, but also we contacted through the embassies in Washington, every country, and nobody wants to take them. And so the challenge we have now is a very different situation than we had 2 years ago. The problem we had 2 years ago is there was no mRNA capacity in the world, zero. The situation is very different today. Moderna has 3 billion doses of annual capacity. Pfizer has 4 billion doses, that's 7 billion doses, and the Chinese don't want the vaccines of mRNA. So if you just take the Chinese population out, you have more than a dose per person, and as we just discussed, the issue in many countries is people don't want vaccines. In the US, people don't want vaccines. Around the world, we have a lot of people who don't want the vaccine. That's the problem Seth and his team are working against. So we don't have a capacity issue around the planet. It is not true. It was true 2 years ago. It's not true today.
So
he's hard to understand.
He's a little hard to understand, but let me just kind of extract the main points. He's basically saying that 2 years ago, and I think I did watch part of the, to get the context. A couple of years ago, it was true that we had a supply issue. Like, we didn't have enough vaccines for every, the poorer countries or whatever. So somebody on the stage brought that up, and he sort of pushes back on it and says, well, at this point, we don't have a supply issue. In fact, we are overstocked. Yeah. These countries don't want them. The United States doesn't want them. These other nations don't want them. So the problem is not supply, it's demand. So it's a very interesting admission.
Which is fun because that was our analysis throughout the end of last year.
Right.
So it's nice to hear him. There you go. We have Canary Cry confirmed by the man himself.
Yeah, there you go. So, we're playing this on the first half of the show because it is the CEOs of these companies just saying what they're saying. Yeah. So it's not, we're not trying to spread misinformation or anything like that. We're just
straight from the horse's mouth.
We're replying to or responding or offering our response and opinion to what's out there. But there are a few more people to quote here. And this first one, it's always interesting to find out more about some of the players in something like the World Economic Forum. And this individual is named Julie Inman Grant. She's the E-Safety Commissioner, Office of the E-Safety Commissioner. She had a role at Microsoft, extensive experience in the nonprofit and government sectors, and also Twitter and Adobe. So big time. And in 2020, the World Economic Forum and Apolitical, I guess is another organization, appointed the commissioner as one of the hashtag Agile 50, the world's most influential leaders revolutionizing government. So that's who this is. Okay?
The Agile thing.
The Agile thing, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is her talking about, it's a really short clip, talking about revisiting or recalibrating certain human rights issues.
We are finding ourselves in a place where we have increasing polarization everywhere, and everything feels binary when it doesn't need to be. So I think we're going to have to think about a recalibration of a whole range of human rights that are playing out online, from freedom of speech to the freedom to be free from online violence, or the right of data protection to the right to child dignity.
Okay. What did she say? A reorganization, recalibration
of human rights, issues like free speech.
Oh no.
Yeah. So this is, I think, setting up for the part of the Great Reset. I believe is to create a cohesive sort of governance that operates on the internet. You know, they want sort of a worldwide. That's sort of the one world government thing. Is sort of a single protocol that governs all the rules of the internet. Right. And I think that's what they've been working on, and you know, it's no surprise there. But yeah, it's just always interesting when you hear free speech being brought up as like, you know, we need to recalibrate it. Like,
needs to be recalibrated, man. It's the free speech has gotten uncalibrated.
We need a defrag, like we used to. Control Alt Delete defrag. So there's that. So I have a couple more clips, and these are actually from alternative news outlets. And the reason why I wanted to include them is just for the purpose of sharing what kind of the guerrilla journalism, the boots on the ground type of reporting that's taking place. And this first one is True North. Have you heard of True North, Basil?
Mm-mm.
It's just an outlet.
I mean, I've heard of it.
Yeah, I think it's like one of these independent news outlets kind of thing, journalists. And one of their reporters runs into Emily Farnworth. Emily Farnworth is the head of climate change for the World Economic Forum. She was previously the director and co-founder of Counterculture and the United Nations International Resource Panel, Department of Energy and Climate Change, WWF, IKEA, and Rio Tinto. So anyway, this reporter, I don't know who the reporter here is, but they ambushed her and asked her about the emissions issue.
I'm just wondering what what the global emissions are for this conference. Like, does the WEF tell people to not take private jets here?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm on.
So she denies that. That's a real short clip, but yeah, she basically denies talking and just walks away, which is no surprise there.
It's a smart girl.
Smart, yes. But you know, it's interesting and fascinating to watch this happen, kind of boots on the ground type of reporting, because there is something to pay attention to the alt narrative being built as well, and sort of seeing how that is all, because a lot of people are tuning into these more independent outlets, you know, so I think it's important to at least be aware of them. The other individual that was aggressively chased after was Mark Carney. This was Rebel News that was going after him. Mark Carney is the UN Special Envoy for Climate Action and Finance. He's a doctorate in economics from Oxford University. He's part of the chairman for the Financial Stability Board. He's a member of the Bank for International Settlements. So he's a big time guy.
Yeah.
He's part of the group of 30. I don't know what that is. What's the group of 30?
I have no idea.
He's a board of trustees.
If he's in the Bank of International Settlements, that means he's at the top of the pile.
He's connected. He's well connected. So the reporter named Avi Yemini for Rebel News ambushed him. And here's part of the exchange that took place.
I understand. My one question is, can the Canadian oil and gas sector survive the net zero approach that's being promoted here?
As I said, I never do. If you want an interview with me, like everybody else, you make a request and we can have an interview.
And will you accept that?
Like everybody else, if I can fit it in, okay?
How do you justify how does the UN climate envoy justify the massive carbon footprint here today to set this up, this fake city for a week event? How did you get here? Did you fly? You walked?
Yeah.
Did you come on a private jet?
Of course not.
No, so how do you justify this? Look at all of this. For 1 week event, the carbon footprint is huge. Don't you think that's a bit hypocritical?
Oh, drop it.
No?
Drop it.
Look, there is lots of progress being made. But look, I'm not doing a stand-up interview, okay?
Why not? You're walking that way anyways. I think people around the world, you know, they say regaining trust. That's the whole purpose.
I do lots of media.
Friendly media.
No, I do. No, God, no.
The ones that are here invited.
Look, I'm doing no media at this one.
Can we sit down and I'll make a time with you and answer some actual tough questions?
You can make a request for a meeting, and
so you can deny it.
Look, as I say, with everyone else, you can do the same thing as with the guy from True North.
He's a good guy, but
He's a good guy. I'm sure you're a good guy as well. All people are good. It's absolutely right.
But the whole world is looking at this now, going, "You're a pack of hypocrites, and you're at the top of the chain there." What would you answer people? Just give me one answer to the people. Take care, sir.
Walks away. So there you go. There's the exchange.
Yeah.
And nothing surprising there, per se. But, you know, it is fascinating. It is worth pointing out a couple things. One, you know, the carbon footprint thing, I don't know. I don't think that I would have led with that if I was on the boots on the ground there and trying to get something out of him. But
it's a disarming question.
It is.
It's a disarming. So you know, it's a I'm not a right-wing extremist question.
Right. You're still in the context of the climate debate kind of thing.
You ask about the climate footprint, then, you know, at least they know that you're, a lefty and you're concerned about the earth and you're a good guy.
The other part is, it is, I think, important to point out how these people don't have an answer to people that have legit concerns, you know. And that's not a surprise. They're compartmentalized.
I think they're told not to answer questions.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
you have the media that's invited. Don't talk to any other media because they'll just spin it. They'll just disinfo it. They'll just
They're
do whatever.
Them ammo for more
They're
disinformation.
Untrustworthy, which is ironic because they said at their own meeting last year that, like, oh, people don't trust us. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, he brought that up. The guy brought it up.
We trust each other, but they don't trust us. Yeah, he did mention that, which I thought was good.
Yeah. So there you go. That's some of the stuff coming out of Davos. We'll probably hear a lot more, but I think the big takeaway is Borla and Klaus having some weird lizard conversation up on stage.
Yeah, Klaus's little cowboy fingers. That's the biggest part.
All right. Well, let's do some politics.
Poly. It's Latin for many. Tick. Now suck your blood. Now suck
Politics.
Your blood.
This was an interesting story, and especially as we, make it our business to kind of look at things from a 30,000-foot view. There was something about this that just really rang very strange.
Yeah.
It's coming from Forbes.com, and it's under the cybersecurity section. Yeah. Why don't you hit the cyber pandemic jingle, too, because we got some cyber stuff coming in here.
The COVID-19 crisis would be seen as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber pandemic.
Forbes exclusive. ISIS plotting to assassinate George W. Bush in Dallas. Oh, no.
No, not another JFK.
Yeah,
GWB, no.
Right. And in the context of, social engineering, triggering, the social triggering, we've had several programmed triggers for different generations in the U.S. Dallas certainly is the words assassinate and Dallas being in the same headline, major trigger. So that caught our attention for sure. It goes like this. Well, it's got this big red sub. This was weird, right?
It was weird. I noticed that. Yeah.
It's common to have a little sub headline or something that you give people a taste, draw them in, get them to read the thing. But this one is giant red text, bold, and like 8 lines long.
I can just picture the intelligence agencies, the memo go out, make sure it's bold, red, and noticeable.
Right. And what this means is what what they're doing is priming you for the rest of the article. So here's the prime that they want to keep you engaged, keep your mind engaged in as you read. And the trick is to try to read it with, let go of the priming and see what it really says. But here we go. Here's the primer. 2 confidential informants and surveillance of the alleged plotter's WhatsApp account reveals plans to smuggle assassins into the U.S. to murder the former president, according to a search warrant application discovered by Forbes. Is there anything that really sticks out there for you?
Smuggling assassins.
So you've got some immigration involved. You know, and it's Dallas, is Texas.
Surveillance. Surveillance of a WhatsApp account, which means you got
text
data.
Surveillance.
Yeah.
So text surveillance. Yes. What else?
At least
got?
there's a search warrant application, not
there
even
you go.
a actual search warrant.
There you go. You've got a search warrant application. So the way I read this is big tech surveillance of the internet stopped illegal immigration to murder the president, the former president, according to a search warrant application. So it was legal. There's an application. We don't know if they actually got it, yet or not. But so the messaging that you're supposed to come at this article with is, legal. The FBI legally surveilled some immigrants, and now George Bush is still alive. All right, let's see what they're saying. An Iraqi man in the U.S. accused of being linked to ISIS operatives was plotting to kill George W. Bush, going so far as to travel to Dallas in November to take video around the former president's home and recruiting a team of compatriots he hoped to smuggle into the country over the Mexican border, according to an FBI search warrant application filed March 23rd and unsealed this week in the Southern District of Ohio. The FBI said it uncovered the scheme through the work of two confidential informants.
Informants, always good to see informants in action.
Yeah, and meanwhile, so they were able to, protect President George W. Bush, but not 20 children in Texas.
Former president's more important.
Where you don't even need a search warrant. The kid was posting about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, confidential informants and surveillance of the alleged plotter's account on the Meta-owned WhatsApp messaging platform. The suspect, Shihab Ahmed Shihab, based in Columbus, Ohio, said he wanted to assassinate Bush because he felt the former president was responsible for killing many Iraqis and breaking apart the country after the 2003 U.S. military invasion, according to the warrant. Okay, well, you shouldn't kill anybody, but it seems like he had a legitimate concern there. The case shows how federal investigators continue to... Can you imagine being this guy wanting, already sort of being on some sort of mission to kill the president, and then hearing him on his recent gaffe, Bush, on his gaffe about how the illegal, invasion of Iraq.
Instead of Ukraine,
I'm sure that did not help things. The case shows how federal investigators continue to monitor threats from ISIS, even as the group has been severely weakened by American intelligence and military operations in recent years. It also shows how the FBI, despite its claims of being prevented from investigating major crimes because of Meta and other tech providers' use of encryption, has been able to work around WhatsApp security by using old school policing with sourcing of informants and tracking the metadata they get from the messaging company. And then they have the pic of a screenshot of the document here talking about the informant. Shihab is an Iraqi national who'd been in the U.S. since 2020 and had an asylum application pending, according to the FBI's search warrant application. Federal agents used two different confidential sources to investigate the plot, one who claimed to offer assistance obtaining false immigration and identification documents, the second, a purported customer of the alleged people smuggler. So they're working with the coyote, who was willing to pay thousands of dollars to bring his family into the country. This is a parenthetical. As the criminal complaint against the suspect has not been made public, Forbes is not publishing the full warrant. According to NBC, he was arrested earlier today, a fact later confirmed by the Department of Justice. Freddie Ford, chief of staff for the office of George W. Bush, said, quote, President Bush has all the confidence in the world in the United States Secret Service and our law enforcement and intelligence communities. Oh, that's nice. In November 2021, Schwab revealed to the FBI insider the plot to assassinate Bush and asked the confidential source if he knew how to obtain replica or fraudulent police and or FBI identifications and badges to help carry out the killing, and whether it was possible to smuggle the plotters out of the country in the same way they came in.
Hold on.
After their mission was complete.
Hold on.
According to the warrant.
How would this Schwab guy. How would he know? The guy, the informants, he wouldn't know that they're FBI, right? But why would he ask them, like, hey, can we get some police badges and some FBI badges?
FBI badges, right?
What would lead this guy to believe that these other dudes can even get him that stuff?
And that's it's very interesting because there's details of this. Now, of course, they don't really tell you what the ruse actually was, and what the, they don't tell you the character that he was playing or whatever. But it does sound a little bit like the FBI informant kind of claimed to be the FBI. You know what I mean?
Or like, or like, like a defective FBI agent or something. I don't know, something.
Or like a compromised FBI agent.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you, man. We better take that guy down. He, did our country wrong or whatever. Yeah. Yeah,
because what would somebody, if you were going to try to assassinate a former president, and you met somebody that, like whoever you meet that you feel comfortable talking to them about this,
that plot with.
Right. That's already like its own thing.
It's a little weird, yeah.
But then to be like, oh, so can you get me FBI badges?
Yeah, hook me up with the gear. Come on, I need the hardware to make this happen.
What would that person have to convince you of that you would ask if they could get you an FBI badge?
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like you would need to claim to have some sort of connection with the FBI.
Yeah,
I mean, okay,
100%. That the thing that is interesting about just this paragraph is what they don't tell you, like all the stuff that led up to this comment.
Right. And that's the key with this whole story is what they don't tell you.
Yeah.
And we know from how the FBI works and worked and has worked as recently as last year. We know how they work. And this is, part of what they do is they take it as far as they can and equip the person as much as they can. And in certain cases that are becoming troublesome for them recently, they come up with the ideas themselves. And so, that's kind of what fills in some of the blanks around here. Let's see here. I was gonna. Did you have anything?
Talks about the alleged smuggler said he wanted to assassinate another Iraqi general, and then it says here the alleged plotter claimed to be part of a unit called Al Raid, meaning Thunder. Which was led by a former Iraqi pilot for Saddam Hussein, who had been based at Qatar, and it gets into all the
kind of
details
goes into the story of it. Talks about the Ba'ath Party, kind of gives some background on the Iraqi government. Down here, spying on ISIS via WhatsApp and mobile location. As part of its surveillance of the alleged plotters, the FBI recently received permission to acquire mobile location information from AT&T. It had already used what's known as a pen register on the WhatsApp account, believed to belong to the chief suspect, helping them determine how often the account was used, what numbers it was contacting, and whether or not it was active. Another question I have is why WhatsApp? Now, I understand that WhatsApp is an incredibly popular chat app around the world, especially around the world. Actually, not so much in the U.S., but around the world, WhatsApp is a very popular thing. And it is well known that it is owned by Mark Zuckerberg, infamous lizard person spying on you 24/7.
He likes meats.
So why would you, plan crimes on WhatsApp? It's literally the worst application to plan a crime on, perhaps, unless your new FBI friend.
Your buddies are like, hey, it's a great place. Yeah, no one can read it. No,
I only chat via WhatsApp. It's a very special FBI application. They can't see it. It's encrypted. I don't it's just weird.
Yeah, it says in this next paragraph, though Shihab seemed convinced his WhatsApp account was secure, he was unaware that the confidential sources were passing on messages to the FBI. Nor was he aware that starting in October, he was using a phone that he was given by the informant at the FBI's request.
There you go. Here's a very special phone. Use it. The informant noted that the target was a keen user of WhatsApp and was a member of Ba'ath. The Ba'ath Party is actually a very fascinating part of U.S. and Iraqi history. So not enough time to go into it now, but it's a whole thing. And ISIS chat groups on the app. Oh, good. In another conversation with the informant, the suspect claimed to have, quote, been in recent communication with a friend in Qatar who was a former minister in Iraq under Saddam Hussein, who had access to large quantities of money and was messaging him over WhatsApp, the FBI said. I find it fascinating, the connection after connection. It's almost like a strange, I don't know. It's got like a weird aspect of history to it. Like he's obsessed with stuff 20 years ago.
Well, that's the strange thing about this is that, the whole little slip up from Bush from a couple days ago or a week ago, I guess now.
Exactly. It puts it into entirely new perspective.
It kind of just signaled out to start some kind of weird media narrative surrounding old stuff. Bringing up old stuff is a threat.
And that's the point. That is exactly the point. Yeah. I think this fits in exactly with that. Let me finish these last two paragraphs, and then we can do a quick breakdown and move on. While the sources were passing on what they learned over WhatsApp through 2021 and 2022, they were also secretly recording the in-person meetings with the alleged plotter in which additional startling details were revealed, according to the FBI. In one conversation from December, according to the warrant, the suspect claimed to have had just smuggled two individuals associated with Hezbollah, a terrorist organization, according to the U.S., into the U.S. for a fee of $50,000 each. Also, in the FBI court filing, the alleged plotter claimed to be a member of the Resistance.
Resistance.
And had killed many Americans in Iraq between 2003 and 2006, packing vehicles with explosives and detonating them with U.S. soldiers were near. End of article. They end it with this like, oh yeah, and also here he's a terrorist and blew up Americans. Without, I don't know, it's just like not a very good wrap up of the whole story.
So what about that guy? Are we doing anything about that guy who's like actually killed people, or are we just going after this other dude who is plotting stuff?
Well, that's him. He's the plotter.
He's scheduling stuff. Go after him and his WhatsApp, but hey, let's not worry about the dude that actually has killed a bunch of people and blown people up.
I think it was the same guy. That was the alleged plotter.
Okay, all right.
But he's more of an administrative administrative terrorist now. He just makes phone calls.
He's retired.
He hires the guys.
Yeah,
who do it. He
he's
doesn't do
worked
it
up the chain, so he doesn't have to do as much. He just tells people what to do.
Right. And so my thought is, they do a great job of really, again, our younger listeners, it might not sort of mean as much to hear this, but for those who were coming of age during 9/11 and the war in Iraq, these details are really ingrained, like the triggering aspect of all these little details that they're bringing up. Now, you consider the interesting PR resurrection of George Bush over the past couple of years, hanging out with Michelle Obama, hanging out with Ellen, going to football games. And then here's what I think. I think that George Bush had this on his mind when he made his gaffe.
Oh, maybe he was briefed about it. And all those old feelings he tried to paint away on his ranch came back up, and he got caught up in the moment and scary Iraq. Iraq, scary.
I think he was reminded, like, oh, I did sort of illegally kill millions of people for pretty much no reason, and this is being a huge hypocrite about this and Putin and I think when he made that, and he was making that gaffe to a room of veterans too.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it was veterans, but had something to do with like
it was his personal event. Yeah, it was an event that he hosts. It was like his own thing. It wasn't like
it was some sort of like veteran targeted event of some kind. So which made it even crazier for him to say that. I think he had his little gaffe because he had just been told that, hey, this guy's been following you. He's planning to kill you. It's because of Iraq. You remember the Iraq stuff there, old Georgie. And
do you think he was reading a story to little children? And then the informant came up to his ear and
that's for
to kill you, but the FBI saved your life.
For the photo op,
The photo op, yeah. It was very, that's a 9/11 reference for those of you who may not know. There's old footage of George
when
W. Bush.
When he first heard about the Twin Towers,
he was reading.
He happened to be in an elementary school classroom reading to children.
Yes.
With photographers.
Yes.
And so it's a very powerful image, a Secret Service man bending down and whispering in his ear as he's holding a children's book, and there's all these kids sitting in front of him, and he makes this very serious face. And the key to the whole thing was he finished reading the book before he got up to save the world. He finished reading to the children and then got up to start a war in Iraq. Illegal war in Iraq and became a war criminal. Following his
that was his cue. It's
reading to children.
It's time, Mr. President, to commit your crimes.
right. So So I'm seeing a very interesting resurgence of very specific details, historical details being brought back up in the media regarding the war in Iraq. And I do think it has something to do with Ukraine. I'm not exactly sure what the message is, but they it just keeps happening. And I think the gaffe is the key to the whole thing. When you're talking about illegal wars, war crimes. I mean, infamous war criminal George W. Bush and all these Russian soldiers right now are being, they're being sent to prison in Ukraine for war crimes.
Yeah. No, I think the whole thing is meant to. They want the public to associate the two in whatever
war crimes.
Yes. Well, not just the way. But sort of in a way of like, because you look at Bush Jr. here, and he's gotten away with it, you know what I mean? So maybe in the same way they're kind of invoking the same magic,
Well, and a part of it is that the U.S. The international courts have called to bring Cheney and Bush to international court for war crimes. That has been an official call by the International War Crimes Commission or whatever.
Right.
And the U.S. doesn't actually recognize that organization. They specifically don't recognize it because U.S. president after U.S. president after U.S. president would be called for war crimes. So, considering that Ukraine actively right now this week is sentencing Russian soldiers to either, the last one I saw was life in prison for, shooting a civilian or whatever. So I don't know, man. There's something going on. We'll need to wait. We'll see what happens.
The whole thing is suspicious.
Very sus.
Is this a crypto? Do I look like I know what a crypto is?
As we go into the break here, one quick story. It's from NBCnews.com, and the headline is Crypto Billionaire Says He Could Spend a Record $1 billion in 2024 election.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and it says here, Washington, Democratic billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried said he could spend $1 billion or more in the 2024 election, which would easily make him the biggest ever political donor in a single election. Bankman-Fried, 30, age 30. He was one of the 30 under 30 Forbes. And by the way, if you are familiar with crypto, it says right here, the founder of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX, who, by the way, bought the arena where I believe it's the Miami Heat play basketball. So that whole arena is named FTX Arena now, and you see FTX all over the place in sports and stuff like that. And for some reason, Sam Bankman-Fried hasn't had the same kind of legal hammering down as other companies in crypto have. I don't know why that is. I mean, maybe it's got something to do with his political donation money, but I don't know. I'm just making assumptions. So anyway, Bankman-Fried, 30, the founder of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX, said in a podcast interview released Tuesday that he expects to give north of $100 million in the next presidential election, and that he has a soft ceiling of $1 billion, with his spending likely to be on the higher end if former President Donald Trump runs again. There you go.
For or against?
Against. I think it's against.
He's a Biden head.
I think. Well, yeah, he's a Democrat. It says here he's a Democrat. So,
okay.
Yeah, Democratic billionaire.
Okay.
That kind of money would be, quote, in a league of its own, said Alex Baumgart, a researcher with the campaign finance tracker Open Secrets. Bankman-Fried. By the way, his name is Bankman. He's a central bank man. It's in his name. Who is estimated to be worth more than $20 billion. Man, he's a 20 billionaire and he's just turned 30. Man, I don't think that's healthy. Talking about mental health. I don't think that's healthy. It says he has already given away more than $200 million to various causes. Cautions that his political plans are still in flux and that they will be contingent on what the landscape looks like. Keeping both parties on their toes. Who wants that? Who wants that $1 billion?
I don't want it.
Quote. All right, then you should run. Quote, I would guess north of 100 million. As for how much more than that, I don't know. It really depends on what happens. It's really dependent on exactly who's running where for what, he said on the Pushkin Industries podcast.
That's so funny. He's just like, I'm going to spend money. I don't know, but I'll never tell who's getting the money. He's such a tease. He's like a billionaire tease.
Quote, what's your problem? Quote, 1 billion is a decent thing to look at as, I would hate to say hard ceiling, because who knows what's going to happen between now and then, but at least a sort of soft ceiling. Man, a 30-year-old
So maybe more.
Oh, yeah.
You know what he's doing?
Just talking Bill.
He's shopping.
Yeah,
he's
100%.
shopping is what he's doing.
100%.
He's just putting it out there. He's saying, okay, call me up, boys.
That's
who's going to make me the best deal? I got the money, and, I'll see what I can, who's got something. It's like, it's kind of like a Facebook Markets ad or like a Craigslist ad or something.
I got $1 billion at a high level.
I got $1 billion. Oboe, what do you got?
The amount of money would be unprecedented, and it would shatter records several times over, at least if it were all spent as so-called hard money, which includes donations to candidates' parties, super PACs, and other groups who have to report to the Federal Election Commission. It's impossible to know how much other wealthy donors have spent to influence politics via so-called dark money, which includes donations to groups like think tanks and nonprofit advocacy organizations. Well, like Soros? You're talking about Soros? The most hard money any individual has spent in any election cycle was $218 million in 2020 by the late Republican casino mogul Sheldon Adelson and his wife Miriam, according to Open Secrets. The Adelsons have competed in recent years to be the biggest donors in the country, with Democratic billionaires Michael Bloomberg and Tom Steyer, who have each spent $75 million to $150 million in the last 3 elections, not including the money they spent on their own presidential campaigns in 2020. Liberal billionaire George Soros this year committed to spend $125 million towards this year's midterm. Oh, young buck. Bankman Buck Fried Chicken Man is like, hey, Soros, let me 10x you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hold my champagne.
Hold my
Like this.
chicken. Beyond those well-known names, even mega donors typically top out around 40 million to 60 million per election cycle. So 100 million would put Bankman-Fried among a tiny handful of the country's biggest donors. So there you go.
You know who's really losing their mind at this news?
No.
The media.
Why?
Advertising. That's where most of the money in politics goes. That's why CNN, Fox, all these mainstream corporate news institutions get so crazy during election years, is because that is when they make the money, baby. Political advertising, keeping the legacy corporate mainstream news going, folks. And that's why you can't trust them. But not here, because we're on the value for value model. Let's take a break.
Oh, darn it. I was going to do one more little jingle.
Oh, you can do it. You can do it.
No, it's all right.
Well, now that you've already done this, you have to do it.
Okay. Well, I was going to say,
if you're going to break the segue, you got to make a new one.
I was going to say that the one silver lining to Bankman-Fried, dangling $1 billion out there for the next round of politicians.
Bitcoin go to moon.
Gotta play Bitcoin crypto rules.
The crypto man
buying American politics. All right, there you go.
It's break
okay.
time. Come on, take a break.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break because you know what? Over here at Canary Cry News Talk, we're on the value for value model, which means we will get no political advertising money. We take no corporate money whatsoever, folks. None from the corporations. No advertisements, no affiliate codes, not even any non-profit grants. No, I don't know. We don't even sell T-shirts, technically. That's right. No corporate money whatsoever, because when an independent news analysis and deconstruction piece of media property claims to be independent, what are they independent from? Indeed, if they are taking money from lizard people to try to convince you to spend your money on things, money you don't have on things you don't need.
Oh my gosh, sorry.
And jingle boards that have a mind of their own. That's right, folks. That's why you listen to Canary Cry News Talk, because we are on the value for value model, folks, which is very simple. We create value. We do it 3 times a week. And if you get any value, if you feel the value from this show, if you enjoy the analysis, the breakdowns, the road maps, the revealing of the plans, the repetitious plans of these not so creative lizard people trying to pull the wool over our eyes yet again. If you appreciate any of that, it is your opportunity or your responsibility to put some value back in, because that's the only way that it works. It doesn't work unless the value comes back for the value. Now, this can come in different forms: your time, your talent, or your treasure. And we'll be showing lots of different ways that people are bringing value to the show throughout the show. But we do like to take a second and thank those producers, because that's what they are, those producers who come in with their treasure to keep the show going. We could not do it without them, and they are a very important part of the family around here, and we do not take it lightly, no matter how many Illuminati fiat dollars they're able to spare to represent the value that the show brings to their life. But we're going to start out. Oh, no. I might have to do a cough drop, an on-air cough drop. But we're going to start out by thanking some of our executive producers. But that's not all. Head on over to Patreon. Patreon.com/CCNT to join up there. Or even better, the best, you can head over to CanaryCry.radio.com/support.
CanaryCry.radio.com/support. Wait, there's more.
You'll get 2 values for the price of 1. Okay, let's start out with our executive producers. Like I said before, the execs, they're the people who really come in, carry the load, keep the show going, come in tough, and we love them very much. We love all our producers, but we get to all stand up and applaud as the executive producers make, some serious sacrifices and contributions to keep the show going. And we're starting off with our first executive producer, and that is executive producer Sir Captain Redbeard, Pirate King of the D-Moochers.
Thank you, Sir Captain Redbeard, Pirate King of the D-Moochers.
Yeah, I feel like we just need to demooch him literally every single time, because he is... Okay, that's the thing. We're demooching Sir Captain Redbeard every single time now. That's hilarious. All right.
It's like the guy who wants to get baptized every church service.
Yes, he gets baptized
Dip me down again, Pastor.
Every year. I love it. Thank you, Sir Captain Redbeard. Comes in. I was trying to sort of decode the amount here. I'm not sure exactly how it went. What I think it is $213.13.
Oh, so like a hidden 333
something. I don't know. Maybe it's a message to the captain's crew or something.
Possible.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Captain Redbeard. He also sent a note that said that Basil Gonz trap rap was fire. Had this Pirate King saying sheesh. Basil Gonz, Basil Gonz, Basil Gonz. You know what's going on. We'll play that at the end of the show today, I think. Yeah, we can do that for Sir Captain Redbeard.
We'll do it for him, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sir Captain Redbeard, Pirate King of the D-Moochers.
The executive producer.
Where'd you find this?
Next up, we got our other executive producer, simply known as T.
The letter T. Thank you.
The letter T.
I always like the letter T.
This episode is brought to you by the letter T. I don't know why I did the count. He does the counting. I don't know who does the alphabet part.
I'm sure he does.
But thank you very much, executive producer T. Little note here. Hello, praying for you. God bless. T. Smiley face. Short and sweet.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Short and sweet. Yep, that's right. Thank you, executive producer T.
Where'd you find this?
And as a reminder for everybody, executive producer T came in with a nice round number, and that's how we roll. We always lean in the direction of anonymity. If you want us to read your production amount, what you do is you put something interesting in there. Don't make it just a nice round number like Sir Captain Redbeard put 1313 in there. A lot of people put 33. It's a whole thing. But executive producer T, nice round number. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, supply drop. Oh gosh. CanaryCry.Supply.com. Go to it. It's super exciting. You're going to love it. CanaryCry.Supply.com is your place to sign up for the Canary Cry Supply Drop. What is that? Well, folks, you already want to put some value back into the system. You want to become a producer. You want to support the show for $33.33 a month. And in return, you will be receiving 4 times a year a very super secret special package of producer created swag. What do we got? We got survival gear. We got
Klaus
accessories.
swag.
Klaus swag. Oh my gosh. All right, some artist, just write it down. Just look at it.
Oh man, there's probably some
swag.
There's probably some IP issues with that, but that's a great name for just some awareness of the World Economic Forum type of thing.
No, we're fine. Klaus swag. Somebody write it down. Start making something. Yes, we don't sell merch. It's part of the value for value model. We don't do retail. We don't participate in that whole thing for so many reasons. But if you are interested in getting like physical objects designed by Canary Cry artists, manufactured, created, logistics managed by Canary Cry producers, sign up for the supply drop. It's awesome. Last quarter, We had some survival gear, some non-GMO, Bill Gates, super cool heirloom garden seeds with labels designed by Sir Dove. We had the Canary Cry multi-dimensional communications codex, which is a podcast companion game that is going on right now that hundreds of people are playing, and you can too if you sign up for Canary Cry Supply Drop over there at CanaryCry.Supply.com. You have 6 more days to sign up to the supply drop. We will immediately send you the ARG, the podcast companion game, and you will be locked in. Remember, the end of this month is the cutoff for the supply drop for this next quarter. We do that because we need manufacturing time and we can't have these numbers changing. But this next supply drop will include, nuts. Well, hold on, Gonz. I got to send you a picture.
Okay, because I do have the old video there.
Yeah. But do the old video. Play the video. This is one of them. It's the... Can we mute it? There we go. It's the Canary Cry challenge coin. That's right. The people watching the video there, that is the challenge coin prototype being lasered onto some stainless steel. It's going to be awesome. We don't guarantee that we're ever going to do this again. However, we do like the idea. And of course, other people like the idea as well. And right now we are trying to hit a goal that will let us upgrade the metal on the challenge coin. We're trying to upgrade it to copper. Now, here's the problem. While people are signing up for the supply drop, we are also getting people canceling their supply drop right now, which, you know what, that's okay. And you can't with every individual, people's situations change. They, their cards get canceled or they get in a new life situation or whatever. So this is not a rebuke of people going through that. But it was a matter of figuring out the budget because the copper coins are much more expensive. But thankfully, we just keep having people sign up. So we're going to figure something out. It's going to be awesome. And I can't find the other picture. It's making me so sad. How did it get sent?
We got 6 days, so we can show the picture on Friday for a... hey, get off your phone. We're trying to do a show here, buddy.
No.
Get off your phone. This is a problem with America. People sitting there on their phones, scrolling.
Oh my gosh, this grumpy Gonz. I'm trying to see where exactly this picture was sent to me. Oh, there it is. Okay, Gonz. What am I going to do? I'm going to email this to us.
Fantastic.
We have to show it.
Okay,
we have to do it.
I'm not...
Just because I'm so excited. I can't stop being excited about it. Okay. Oh, geez. This is really hard to do while
Stall for 5 seconds.
Yeah!
5 seconds. There you go.
How you doing over there?
Sending to our email. Sorry. I have one little sliver of vision underneath my VR helmet. It's okay. I'm going to... Oh my gosh. I'm so sick. Okay, here we go. Copying the image. I'm so sorry. I should have done this. I can't believe that I didn't do this. Here we go.
I can't deal with it right now, Basil.
Send. Let's see if my off-grid internet can send. Okay, here we go. This is another one of the awesome items that we are going to be adding into the coming supply drop. And if you are an old school Canary Cryer, you're going to be excited. And when I say old school, I mean old school as in... There it is. Did it pop in there?
Yeah. Just took a second for the satellites to...
Yeah, it had to go to space. Yeah. So, okay. Here we go. How easy are you
I
going to
like that you sent image.png. You sent image.
Image.png. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. This is another reveal for what's going to be in this next supply drop. And if this is something that you want, you're going to need to do it. Of course, we got the challenge coin. And I'm stalling just to get the...
I got it. You ready?
You got it? Let's do it. Here we go. It's happening, folks. It's finally happening. That's right. Included in the next supply drop is the Tweet Hungry Boys kitchen apron.
The whole time you're stalling, the payoff is it?
It's the Tweet Hungry Boys apron. That, if you don't remember, maybe you're new to the show. Tweet Hungry Boys was, I don't even know, an old joke from last year. And it was supposed to go on a baby's bib. But we figured that not everybody would have a baby. So
we're all big babies.
We're all big babies. So if you're a big baby, go sign up for the supply drop. You'll get the Tweet Hungry Boys apron, and you can wear it while you grill, wear it while you maybe just wear it as a bib while you're eating some sloppy lobster or something.
Yeah, get some of the barbecue sauce and make mustaches. I need some facial hair. So yeah, go ahead and.
Yeah,
my
so
bird
all
version needs a facial hair.
Whatever you want to use the Tweet Hungry. Perhaps you have an anniversary coming up and you're looking for a way to,
re-spark that.
Spark it up a little bit there. I mean, it covers everything important until it doesn't. You know what I mean? So there you go. Tweet Hungry Boys apron will be in the next supply drop. I'm telling you, I'm so excited.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. Man, this is the longest we've ever spent on this, and I'm proud of us for something. I don't know. And let's thank some people who signed up for the supply drop. Are you ready, guys? Take the Tweet Hungry Boy apron over to Red Lobster. Come on, baby. We're going to start out by thanking... go to CanaryCry.Supply.com to sign up.
Yes.
Okay. Will you go over there, Gonz, click into the PayPal page for the supply drop and post it into the chat for me?
Wait, you're talking about the button?
Yeah. You know what? I'll do it. Don't worry about it. Because we're going to thank our new supply dropper, Kevin D.
Now, you got all kinds of stuff stalling on my computer now. You made me go to a whole different page. And
not only am I tricking your brain, I'm tricking your computer.
Yeah,
thank you very much, producer Kevin D.
Thank you, Kevin D.
We also have a new supply dropper, Alicia V.
Alicia V, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man, this board is really lagging today again.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Alicia also mentioned that she's going for damehood, so
all right.
Keep an eye out for Alicia. Next up, we got Danielle M.
Thank you, Danielle. Appreciate it.
Danielle M said, you guys are seriously doing amazing work. Sorry, I've been dragging my feet. But I'm finally no longer a mooch. Love y'all. Demooch, Danielle.
There you go, Danielle.
Actually, we also need to demooch Alicia.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Demooch sisters.
Yes. The Demoochettes. Next up, we have got our new supply dropper. And Gonz, I don't know if you've heard of this fella before or not, but this is Sir Captain Redbeard, Pirate King of the Demoochers.
Sir Captain Redbeard showing up again, popping up all over the place.
Which means we need to demooch him.
Oh, man. Guy's going to be real clean. That red beard is going to be fresh every time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's so demooched. And then, this is funny. Producer Isaac, God bless you, my friend. When I was trying to get the picture, he emailed it to us.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, thanks, Isaac. Next up, last but not least, we got producer David F.
Thank you, David F.
Thank you, David F. And there we go. That concludes our list of new supply droppers.
Waiting for supply drop.
You can go to a meetup, wear your Tweet Hungry Boy apron, and bring your challenge coin, and people will be very concerned about how you look in public. Okay, we've got some more producers to thank, and we're going to do that now. Thank you to our supply droppers, and now thank you to our beautiful, talented, hardworking producers, starting with producer Aaron N.
Thank you, Aaron N.
Yeah, Aaron N comes in with $77.
Wow, thank you.
And
very generous.
Yeah, and a note that says, "Flip, yeah, for real. Love you guys." Smiley face.
Thank you very much, Aaron.
There's a jingle somewhere. There it is. Okay. Next up, we've got producer Michael G coming in for $33.33.
Michael G.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Next up, we got Emily H coming in for $33.33 plus fees.
Thank you, Emily H.
Mm-hmm. Now we got producer Nicholas B coming in for $18.23.
Interesting number. Thank you, Nicholas B.
Yeah. The fees on that, it could have been $17.10.
Okay.
It doesn't make any more sense to me, but it was $171. Maybe that's
maybe
something.
$17.77 or $17.76. Maybe.
Perhaps. Depends on the... Yeah. Just another public service announcement. If you produce through the LINKTREE, right there on the LINKTREE, the fees are different. So if you're trying to hit a very special number on the LINKTREE, it won't do it. Next up, we've got producer Morph, who's on a 95-episode streak.
Quicker.
Oh, yeah! Thank you so much.
11.
Mm-hmm. And 11. And a note here, my dudes, we are in some crazy times, but our great God is still in control. He is our hope and our peace in this present darkness. Matthew 28:20. Lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen. Love y'all. God bless. Thank you, Morph.
Thank you, Morph. Appreciate it.
Next up, we got Sir JC Nat of the Techno Squatch coming in with 107 episodes in a row.
Quicker.
Oh, yeah!
1001. Amen.
Amen. And 1001 and a note. It is WMD.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday, my dudes.
And hope everyone is crushing this week so far. Man, I'm tired, he says. Maybe we can get some non-GMO Canary Cry energy drinks soon. Yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan has one. Why can't we have one?
Yeah, that is the standard here. We just measure up ourselves up against Joe Rogan.
Yeah, how else can you go through life feeling accomplished and successful unless you compare everything you do to Joe Rogan?
Yeah, well, I will say that what's crazy is I will be turning 40 next year, and I've been thinking about. I got a few months here, about half a year left till I turn 40. What if I just go all out and just get shredded?
Totally shrapnelled. I think you should, man.
6 months isn't.
It's not that long.
It's not that long.
You could do it, but you would need to be very, very diligent on your fitness routine, and worst part, your diet.
I know. Yeah. I like my food. Especially after a long day of news. It's like, man, I gotta eat some to.
You'd have to go full on Spartan diet to get shrapnelled in 6 months.
Yeah, but at the very least, I can increase my bicep size, so I might do some of that.
That's good. You got to do it. Size is easy. Size is the fun part. You can eat as much as you want. You can bulk up. Okay, I am now putting the Canary Cry supply drop link into the chat for those who want to just jump right over there. I saw a couple people asking. Next up, thank you, Sir JC Knight of the Techno Squatch. Next, we've got producer James M.
Thank you, James M.
Yeah.
James Madison?
James Madison Square Garden. And he is on a 4-episode streak.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
All right. Next up, we've got producer bot LX Protocol V2 on a 36 episode streak.
Thank you, LX Protocol.
That's right. Pocket full of sevens and fees. IWMD.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday.
It says, thank you for such a great show. I am also enjoying Ravel. I appreciate your ministry. Thank you very much. God bless Hairy Legs and Dean Scream.
Hairy Legs.
Opposite.
Hairy legs. Got hairy legs.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, producer bot.
Producer bot, I need a refrag. It's slowing down.
Refrag, defrag. Next up, we've got of our former executive producer, Darren S.
Thank you, Darren S.
Darren S. is on a 2-episode streak. Hey now. Thanks, Darren. Pocket full of sevens and fees. Thank you for doing your show. Here's something extra for the Wednesdays show. Thank you very much, guys. Next up, we got producer Dylan E coming in with pocket full of sevens.
Thank you, Dylan E.
Dylan E has a note that says also very long time listener, but first time giver. By the way, miss the Face Like the Sun OG YouTube channel. Yes, don't we all? Well, let's demooch Dylan.
Man, it is Wednesday, my demoochers.
Yeah, demooches all over the place. It feels good, man. It feels good for everybody.
Thank you, Dylan.
Okay, that concludes our list of producers who came in the amount of 777 or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. We got a few more beneath that cutoff, and we will thank them now, starting with Jonathan F.
Thank you, Jonathan F.
Jonathan F is on a 2-episode streak, at least.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Next up, we got Sir James, Knight and Servant of the Lion of Judah, coming in, and he is also on a streak, one of these big old streaks, 92 episodes in a row.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Next up, we got the streak, Sir Casey the Shield Knight. 160.
160. Wow.
It's almost at the 166 there. We don't have a
we got nothing planned.
Don't
we
have
figure
a
it
thing
out.
for
Sir
it,
Casey,
but that's okay.
It's like the fire that burns under us, constantly keeping us in check.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. And also, right behind him, we have Sir Scott, Knight of Truth.
Oh, yeah.
150 episodes in a row.
That's right. 0.2.
Next up, we got the Streak Sisters, both at 125 episodes in a row, starting with Veronica D.
Thank you, Veronica D.
And, of course, neck and neck, we got Gail M.
Thank you, Gail M.
That's right. And then we got Runk Smash bringing up the pack here. 6 episodes in a row, which means Runk Smash is on fire.
Oh, yeah. Streakalicious.
Streakalicious. Thank you, Runk Smash. But you're also on fire. You did play that. Okay, there you go. All right, that concludes our list of financial producers. Thank you all so much for making our week livable. It means a lot to us, and keeping this show going is a family affair, and y'all are participating. All you demooched folks, thank you so much. Happy to have you on board, part of the family, and of course, you supply droppers, making it happen. And I've got to mention the executive producers. Thank you all for your patronage.
Shut up and take my money. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patronage.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message, beep.
message. That's right. If you go to CanaryCry.Newstalk.com, you'll see a green tab on the right hand or the bottom side of the page there. Just go ahead, click on that. Another button will appear. You can click on that, leave us a message. You're giving us permission to read that, play the message rather, on the show, but it is not guaranteed. Any voicemails today, Gonz?
Yeah, we have a handful of voicemails, and let's see. I'm trying to find the first one here. Well, let's see. Let's start with the one we got from Michael C.
Okay.
It's going to play? Uh-oh. Why isn't Michael C's message playing? Here we go.
Michael.
Oh, boy. Why? What's going on?
Michael.
Oh, come on.
Michael, I miss you. What do you have to say?
Hey, guys. This is Michael and Gonz. I was just wondering, when do you think Age of Deceit 4 will be out? And for Basil, I was wondering also, for Ravel, will you have a video style podcast like a Canary Cry? But thank you for the show you do, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Gonz, everybody wants to know when's AOD4 coming out.
I'm not going to put a date on it because every time I try to do that, it
every
fails.
Every time you do,
so
you don't do
no
it.
Date, but I've been working on some stuff and some very interesting sort of themes developing with I don't know, I'll say encryption and ciphers and stuff like that, and Hebrew and ancient Hebrew.
I could see how it would be difficult because now that we do this show, the updates on
updates
everything,
come in real fast.
They come in real fast, and not that it changes what you're working on, but you just want to add everything in there, and it does extend the process a bit.
And so, it does sort of take away some of the more frivolous stuff, and it gets right to sort of the evergreen important issues. Yeah. And, things that you think are evergreen at one point may not be later on. It's always a kind of a thing. But it's the research continues, and trust me when I say that the document of the Age of Deceit, like film document that I have, putting all my notes in and everything else, it is constantly being updated, and I try to work on it a little bit every few days a week, and it'll happen all in the Lord's time, I would say.
He's moving.
Yeah.
He's moving on it. Yeah. And Ravel, video Ravel, there's no plans for that right now. The video thing to connect two people who are far away from each other, and then to get a guest in there, do the whole thing. There's not currently any plans for that. We're actually not even really monetized yet. We're still kind of in baby phases of Ravel, just trying to sort of build the content, build the community, that sort of thing. We'd probably fare much better if we did do a video thing, but it does add a whole. I mean, trying to fit doing that podcast in between this is already tough enough. But I would love to do it if there was an easy way to do it. I mean, I know there are easier ways. I could see us using some sort of service instead of what we do here, which is from scratch, full production from scratch that we're all doing. There's some services that are just have a webcam, we'll put your video on the internet type of thing. So no plans currently, but that is a data point in whether we should or should not do it. Your question and enthusiasm. So we'll figure it out. Send us an email if you want to try to convince us to do it even more. Contact at ravelpodcast.com.
Yep, there you go. Thank you very much. Okay, we got another message here from David F. Oh boy, wow, all our messages today are not working. I have to re-import all the audio. I don't know why I have to do that.
The mainframe.
God's green thumb. His sun does shine upon the earth and fuels us as we grow. His words are the water that fills us all with the things that we must know. We need them both for proper growth, for our fruit to be so sweet. And the Holy Ghost guides us in preparation for the day that we shall meet. We will grow towards the sun as long as we stay bound to the Holy Ghost, who is like the stick that keeps us from wilting to the ground. There is one more thing which we all need, and that is the one who plants the seed, who tills the ground by the sweat of his brow, so that some might have tomorrow what he has right now. A knowledge of his perfect love that rains on us all from up above. So go plant your seeds wherever you possibly can, for with my own eyes I have seen a tree growing in a once barren land. Each instance of son in this poem is S-O-N, not S-U-N. Anyway, thank you.
Wow, that was wonderful. So beautiful.
Yeah, very nice.
Who was this poet?
It was David F.
David F. Oh, he produced today. Thank you very much, David F. What a wonderful, wonderful piece.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that kind of stuff because it just helps sort of take a moment, take a break.
It was beautiful.
All right, we got one more from Paulie.
Oh boy,
Paulie the Gambino.
Oh, Paulie the Gambino.
Let's see what Paulie says here.
Hey, it's Paulie. Last few shows, nobody's calling into the voice bite. So I thought Paulie would fill in the void. I like Rochelle. She kind of sings scriptures, so I'm going to try it, okay? Rochelle hasn't called in the last show. So I'm going to try this right here. Psalms 25, okay? Here we go.
That's a good one.
Unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. Oh my God, I trust in thee. Let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me. Bada boom, bada bang. Listen, I'm not making fun here. I love the Lord. I love Jesus. He's freaking powerful. He's our God. He's the Messiah. He's awesome. All right? So I fill in the void here. Love you guys. Love this show. Everybody's awesome here. Peace.
There you go. Paulie the Gambino.
Wow. Thank you so much, Paulie the Gambino. Always filling the void when there's a void that needs to be filled.
Oh, man. Paulie the Gambino should just put out an album. It's a whole album of scripture reading, and there's a whole lot there.
Somebody needs it. There's an audience for everything, as is evident by our show still being alive. So,
you need an Italian mob master yelling scripture at you,
Yeah. Thank you very much, Paulie, and all the people who left us messages. That's it, right?
Yep, that's it. Appreciate it.
All right, folks, we're going to get the show going again here. If you're on YouTube, what follows is too hot for your favorite video platform. So go ahead, go to CanaryCry.Party, find another outlet, Odyssey, Rumble, Twitch is the most popular one at this point, DLive, etc., because what follows is not for YouTube's little tiny baby ears.
Yes, it's wake-up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
See you later.
Okay, what's happening? Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure?
Twitch, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is, you can find all those links at CanaryCry.Party as well. Too hot for YouTube.
YouTube.
Now you see me. Now you don't.
Okay.